It's looking great. Good job. What are you working on?
Hey, just...
Remember that time when you got to dress up like a turtle for the camera review?
Yes.
Well, some people online are saying that it wasn't really fair and that it was biased and we messed up on, especially that final test.
No, people always say that.
Yeah, I know they do, but they think that we were unfair and we hate Sony here.
But we don't hate Sony.
I know, but you know how the internet is. So anyway, if you could just get suited up one more time, we're going to do the test one more time just to silence the haters. So
no.
Be a team player. Come on. Last week, we released a video comparing the top 3 highest megapixel cameras right now. The Nikon D810, Canon 5DSR, Sony A7RII. We put them through a series of really stupid tests, and I thought each of the cameras were pretty evenly matched, but the Sony community has gotten really angry with us. They said we're biased, we're out to get Sony, and that's just not true. One of the biggest complaints that we got from the Sony community was with our final high-resolution studio test. We took 3 pictures from each of the cameras in the studio. We put the high-res shots online for you to download, but we stripped all the metadata out so you didn't actually know which camera took which image. And the community believed that the Nikon D810 actually took the best looking image, which is pretty interesting because it is the lowest megapixel camera. A lot of Sony shooters complained though that we didn't give them a fair shot because we used the 2470 f4 E-mount lens, which apparently isn't a very good lens. We didn't know that at the time. It was the only lens that we could get our hands on. So what we've decided to do is we're going to take this original lens, the 2470 f4 that we used for the video, and we're going to compare it with the Tamron. This is the lens that we used on the other 2 cameras. We have a couple Metabones adapters that we can make this fit, and we also have the 2470 2.8 A-mount lens with the fancy Sony branded, very complicated, what the f is this called? This is the LA-EA4. You guys can give me all the crap you want that I can't keep up with all this stuff, but this is ridiculous. I mean, how can anybody possibly remember every single one of these adapters and which one does autofocus and which one does autofocus a little faster than the other one? So as you can see, we put all of these cameras through the test and we did actually find that there was some merit in the complaints. We found that the worst lens was actually the 2470 f4 lens, okay? You guys were right. It performed worse than the other 2. The second best lens was the Tamron 2470. This is actually the Canon mount lens. And then I have a Metabones adapter. This is a different one than the one we used in the first video. This one allows autofocus, even though the autofocus sucks with this one, it does kind of work. This performed second best. The top performing lens was actually the 2470 A-mount 2.8 lens with the E-mount adapter by Sony. This performed the best. So you guys were somewhat right. We were giving the Sony a disadvantage by giving it this lens. Who knew? It's not a very good lens. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Metabones adapter with the Canon mount Tamron 2470 2.8, and we're going to take the exact same test again with all 3 cameras and see which one is best. Can you look a little bit happier? No? Okay. So we shot each of the shots at 70mm f8, 1/60th of a second, ISO 100. We tweaked the exposure and the white balance just a little bit to make sure that they all look the same, exported them all out at 36 megapixels, and we have put them online right here for you guys to download in full res, and you can determine which camera is best. Now, when we did this before, the Nikon was a clear winner. The majority of people said it was by far the best looking shot. I agree with them, but I didn't want to say that. I didn't want people to say that I was biased. This test is even harder. The shots look so similar, it's really ridiculous that we're even arguing about this. All 3 cameras are awesome. All 3 cameras are capable of taking an identical shot. But just in case you guys want to argue about it a little bit more, head over to the link below. You can guess which camera took which picture. And then in a few days, we will reveal what the polls actually said and which camera actually took the best looking shot. I'm going to stick with the Nikon for a little bit longer. You guys can fight over every little pixel on every camera. I'm done with this review though. You know, people love Baby Turtle. I know this isn't your favorite thing to do, but I think you probably have more fans now than you've ever had in your life, so you're welcome. You should be thanking me right now. You shouldn't be acting like a little bitch all the time.